There's a place down the street where good friends meet. Why don't you come along? See a face that's new, share a point of view, or maybe sing a song. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Climb to the top of the stair.
So Ron, how was your doctor's appointment?
It was as bad as I expected it. Poke, jab, punch, cold instruments, needles. Ugh, you know what that's all about.
Yeah, yuck. I just hate going to the doctors.
Yeah, but what's even worse is going to the dentist.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you guys, it wasn't that bad. It's just a little pain for a few minutes.
Yeah, but what long few minutes.
Yeah, but I suppose Ron looks at us having to go through it now, so he won't have to go through worse pain later on.
Yeah, Ron would think like that.
That's actually quite profound, Byron. I think I like that.
Like Shakespeare said, there never was a philosopher who could endure the toothache patiently.
So then you wouldn't mind going again?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Well, Kelly and I have got to go now. She's helping me with my papers today.
How come? I thought you usually did them by yourself.
Well, that's when I have my bike, but today Dawn's using it, so I'm getting a little help.
I get paid for it too.
Hey.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful tooth named Flossie. She was a good tooth that always took her job of chewing and biting seriously. But the time came when something sad happened. One day, she noticed a dark spot in her enamel. As the weeks went by, it got bigger and uglier. It went deeper and deeper until one day, when Flossie was squishing a candy, whammo! The sugar touched a raw nerve. She hurt for days and days. It was enough to make Flossie forget all about her friends, the other teeth next to her. She began to feel oversensitive and terribly sorry for herself. She quit chewing whenever she could. It was a very lonely feeling, and it made her really crabby. It got so that whenever someone offered to help her, she brushed them off and hid under her enamel. But there was a good side to Flossie's problem. It gave her time to think. She began to ask some pretty hard questions. Why had she ever grown up in the first place? Why did she have to have that weak spot in her enamel? Why had she chewed all that candy when she was younger? And why hadn't she cleaned up after like she was supposed to? But it was too late now. The damage was done. If only she could be fixed up again. One day, a wise old molar heard her sobbing. "Hey, little tooth," he said, "I've noticed your cavity. You must be hurting a lot. Why don't you go to a dentist? He'll fix you up." At first, Flossie resented the idea. She was afraid of what he'd do to her. But the pain was becoming so great that finally she broke down and went to see a dentist. "Uh-oh," he said softly as he looked at her from all directions with his little mirror. Then he reached for a needle. It hurt just a bit. Then he pulled down a drill and began to poke away at Flossie. She was horrified, as if the cavity wasn't big enough already. He was making it even bigger. He stopped for a while and Flossie sighed with relief. Then he drilled some more. She wasn't sure whether the shaking was from the drill or from her fright. The whirring came to a stop. The dentist put something with a funny taste into the hole. He packed in something that felt like a hard piece of bubble gum and pushed it into the farthest corners. Flossie thought her sides would split from the pressure. She was starting to feel better, though. And then it struck her. She was going to be a complete tooth again. The hurt was going away. Maybe, just maybe, she'd end up being thankful for this experience after all. And so it was. Because of what she went through, Flossie matured. She found it easier to ask others for help. She found it easier to sympathize with others. And she even decided to take better care of herself. Even though the experience was unpleasant for a while, it all worked out for good in the end.
Hey, Dawn, we were just talking about you.
Is Byron here yet?
No, he just left to do his papers. Do you want to give him his bike back?
Well, not now. I mean, not...
Say, what's the matter, Dawn? You look a little nervous.
You know what happened?
No, what happened? Tell us.
Byron's bike. I borrowed it, and I was going through this intersection, and a car hit me coming the other way.
Oh, no, are you hurt?
No, I just scraped my hands.
Oh, but the bike.
That's the problem. Byron's gonna skin me.
Is it wrecked?
Wrecked isn't the word. More like annihilated.
Are you sure you're okay? You could have fractured something without knowing it.
No, I just scraped my hands, see?
Oh, that's okay. That doesn't look that bad.
But the bike, where is it?
It's still on the street. Another part landed on the sidewalk. Probably some of the spokes are still stuck in the car. All I know is that I don't have it in one piece to give back to Byron.
He'll understand that it was an accident and that it wasn't your fault. He should just be glad that you weren't hurt.
Somehow I don't think so. And my stomach's beginning to hurt.
Don't worry about it. Byron better understand.
Right, don't let yourself get worked up about it.
He won't fall over and be happy to see me, that's for sure.
Pain is a pain, but without it, we would be worse off. Pain is a reaction that occurs when there is something wrong with our body, and without this warning, we could do permanent damage to ourselves.
Hi, I'm a doctor. Every day I see people who have lots of pain, and it's not very pleasant for them. But you know, it's pain that gives people a sense of danger, and in fact, pain protects us from danger. If it doesn't last very long, pain can in fact be your helper. When we grow up, we stub our toes and we scrape our knees and we burn our fingers on the oven, and we know that some things are dangerous for us. And when pain comes, it makes us try to find out what's wrong. And if it stays for a long time, we might even go and see a doctor. In fact, the doctor sometimes has to produce more pain, like, say, an operation for appendicitis, in order to get rid of the pain. Some people have so much pain, and it lasts so long, that they'd rather not live any longer. And for a very few of these patients in our country, it's possible to have brain surgery and have a small wire placed into the brain. This wire is connected to a machine which will remove the pain by passing a very tiny electric current into the pain center of the brain. Can you imagine how it would be if you had pain all of the time and suddenly you got to push a button and have the pain all gone? But if a person never feels any pain, and if he can't feel pain, can you imagine what would happen to him? I worked in Africa for 4 years, and I also worked in a leprosy hospital there. Leprosy is a disease which produces several things. One is a rash. A second thing is it makes people disfigured. And thirdly, because the bacteria in leprosy grows inside of nerves and skin, it can cause the nerves in the skin and in the fingers to not function anymore. And as a result, patients with leprosy lose their sense of touch and feel numb. For example, if a patient with leprosy puts his hand in boiling water, he may not feel the heat and get a very severe burn. If they cut their finger, they don't feel it. If they stub their toe on a rock and don't feel it, or if they step on a nail, they don't feel it. And then they can get infection, they get a sore, and they get dirt into it because they keep on walking on it. And it ends up with a very serious problem. They might even lose their fingers or their toes or their hands because of the infection. Many times they don't feel pain of the soreness type, but they do feel the pain of loneliness because they can't feel when they reach out to touch their son or their daughter. They can't feel their son's squeeze of their hand. And so they feel lonely because they can't feel the love that comes when you hold hands or you squeeze one another. And as a result of that, many people who don't have pain have a life which is difficult, a life which is shortened because of the danger of severe injury without them knowing about it. Also, the life can be very difficult because without being able to touch and feel, they lose contact with those around them.
God allows pain for a reason. But not all pain is physical. Sometimes we have inner hurts, like, for example, a broken heart, or even pain from a guilty conscience because we've done something wrong. Pain, though unpleasant, is a very important warning system.
Is it ever agony just waiting for Byron to come and pound me?
Well, why wait here? Go somewhere else.
Then he'd really be after me. I've got to tell him face to face.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Boy, is it ever great having a helper. Got my papers done in no time.
Maybe you should consider hiring her full time.
Nah, once I get my bike back from Dawn, I'll be able to do them by myself again.
Wouldn't walking be a little bit better exercise?
Sure, but with a bike you can go all over the place. Hey, Dawn, how'd you like my wheels? Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, they're really nice.
Where'd you put them? I didn't see it outside.
Well, you see, Byron...
What happened to my bike?
Well, you see, there was this car.
Car? A car ran over my bike?
Well, not at first.
Not at first? What do you mean, not at first?
I had an accident, Byron, and your bike is wrecked. It was an accident. I couldn't help it.
But you smashed my bike and I needed to do my papers. How bad is it?
Totaled.
Don couldn't help it, Byron. He could have been really badly hurt, you know.
But I saved up all my money last year to buy that bike. What do I do now?
Look, Byron, I'll help you with your papers for free, and I'll see if I can maybe help you buy another one.
That's no good. What do I do for now? Never mind.
See, I told you wouldn't take it well.
I gotta go now. I'd like to stay to see the final fireworks between Byron and Dawn, but I can't.
Me too. Tell us how it turns out. Yeah, come on, you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. See ya.
You and I are special, and we've got our special names. You and I are different, but we feel things much the same. You and I have moments we say life's a lousy game, and moments seem like hours when all you feel is pain. Help us helping each other, help us healing us, Lord. Help us love one another, help us say the right word. Give us strength for each other, give us strength for the load that we carry together along life's road. You and I get bruises and we get our broken bones. You and I get beaten trying to beat our broken homes. You and I have failures, and so often we're afraid. Get put down and frustrated, just want to run away. Help us helping each other, help us healing us, Lord. Help us love one another, help us say the right word. Give us strength for each other, give us strength for the load that we carry together along life's road. You and I get bitter when we only want the sweet. You and I are losers when we start to love defeat. You and I are cop-outs when we blame it all on God, whose loving will and purpose is greater than our thoughts. Help us helping each other, help us healing us, Lord. Help us love one another, help us say the right word. Give us strength for each other, give us strength for the load that we carry together along life's road.
Don't you leave too, Ron.
No, I won't. I want to see this thing cleared up so that you can sleep tonight.
So, Ron, you always got the answers. What do I do now?
I don't know. I think it's partly up to Byron.
Boy, the one time I ask you for advice and you don't have any.
You're feeling a lot of hurt right now towards Byron. But it's not always wrong to feel hurt, you know.
Huh?
Sometimes a person feels as if they're the only one that's hurting inside. But God knows about hurt. When Jesus lived here on earth, he experienced a lot of hurt himself. People laughed at him. They persecuted him. He met a lot of people that had very deep hurts, like the man who had leprosy, or people that felt emotional pain deep, deep inside. One day, Jesus went to a man's house to visit for dinner. The man was a pretty poor host. In that day and age, a good host would wash the person's feet. Now, nowadays it seems strange, but in those days, the man would go walking along a dusty road with sandals, and whether he had a bath or not, his feet would be dirty. So a proper host would make sure that his feet could be washed. Well, this man hadn't done that. They sat down to dinner. They were eating, and a very strange thing happened. A lady came in. Everybody knew about her. Her way of life was not at all acceptable. She did something that was quite peculiar. She sat down by Jesus' feet and began to cry. She cried and cried so hard that her tears almost washed his feet. And then she took her hair and began to wipe his feet. It was really a very peculiar thing. I think it was because she felt a deep, deep pain inside. She was expressing real deep sorrow for her way of life. It's a kind of pain that a person feels when he does something wrong, like disobeying God. It's a hurt very deep inside, as if something is out of joint. It's good to feel this pain because it prompts a person to come back to God, to seek his forgiveness, and that sets things back into place. It's a really good feeling to have things cleared up and things back into joint. Whenever you're in pain, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to come to God and to tell him all about it. He will listen to you. I think that you and Byron are right now going through a really growing kind of experience.
Like growing pains?
I think that's right. That's right, Ed. You're back. That's good.
I forgot my paper bag. I still have my route to do tomorrow. I guess I won't be around much since it'll take me longer than ever now, seeing as how I don't have my bike anymore.
I'd still be willing to help you, Byron.
Why don't you accept his offer of help?
But that doesn't put my bike back together again.
I know it's tough, Byron. You lost your bike and that hurts. And Don, you feel badly and that hurts too.
I guess there's nothing we can do to change what happened.
It's what we do from here.
Yeah, let's go check the route list.
Okay.
Hey, guess what we're looking for? A letter from you. Maybe we've reminded you of something that's happened to you, or something on the program has been helpful to you. Maybe you've got a problem that you'd like to share with someone. Why don't you take a few minutes and sit down and write us? And when you do, we'll send you a special Third Story magazine full of stories and songs from our Third Story programs. Just send your letters to The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We'll be waiting to hear from you.
You're trying to cope, but don't know where to begin. No, there's no way out, but there is a way through. God is your hope, just let him be there with you. When you're bombing out at school, and at home there's just more rules. When your worries never end, know that Jesus understands. Is there no way out when the world closes in? When you're trying to cope but don't know where to begin? No, there's no way out, but there is a way through. God is your hope, just let him be there with you. When the kids who have it all start you feeling kinda small, when you think that life's unfair, know that Jesus came to care. Is there no way out when the world closes in? When you're trying to cope but don't know where to begin? No, there's no way out, but there is a way through. God is your hope, just let him be there with you. 'Cause we all have worn a frown. We can help when someone's down. Just like Jesus cares for you,